You're listening to the What the Wrestling Podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is. NXT, as we know it, will cease to exist, and it is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But first things first, we got the NXT review 1 year anniversary show. But before that, check out my socials. Follow me, RJD699 on Twitter, RJD_199 on Instagram, RJD199 on Snapchat. But most importantly, follow What's the Wrestling on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. Follow What the Wrestling on Spotify and Anchor. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go. Yes. Tis I, RJD here. Welcome to What the Wrestling, the show that brings you all things wrestling. As you already know, I am your host. And yes, I am Ball the Sexy. This we already know. But as we get the merch right, get your merch, link in the description. You already know. But, coming out with some more soon too. So look out for that. Everything in the works. But we got to get right down to it. So that's what we're going to do. 1 year anniversary show. Man, oh man. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I wonder if NXT as we know it, don't want to hit the cat here. I wonder if NXT as we know it is going to cease to exist. We had video packages all night about how the various matches of the NXT 2.0, your Braun Breakers and your A champion Carmelo Hayes, and all of these different matches that they had at NXT 2.0, and it made NXT 2.0 look so great.
It's stupid.
It wasn't. NXT 2.0 wasn't that great. I hated 85% of these shows. Yesterday was a good show, but most of these shows suck. And as soon as Vince took it over and changed what it was, it just wasn't good. And we all know it's true. But yesterday, after the credits went off of the air, we had the NXT 2.0. So they've been paying homage and praising NXT 2.0. And then they put up a different type of logo, dropped the 2.0, kept the NXT, but it was in gold. Now, And I think Brian Alvarez said that the Halloween Havoc episode of the next pay-per-view is a takeover show. Being that is a takeover show, listen, you ain't gonna get me. Yeah, you ain't gonna have me being mad at nothing else. If that show is called Halloween Havoc Takeover or Takeover Halloween Havoc, whatever, man, listen. About to give me some emotional damage here. Craziness. But being that it looks like the 2.0 version of NXT is done. We had Triple H or Shawn Michaels saying that NXT is always evolving in their video packages. And Triple H tweeted out, "We are NXT." So it looks like it's finally here. 2.0 is done. Now, that doesn't mean the wrestling is going to change. It doesn't mean just because they dim the lights and bring back the old feel of NXT doesn't mean the old NXT is here. I think this is a new and improved, and it's going to evolve into something else. The only problem is, well, can't even really say it's a problem, but the only thing that I wonder is there's a lot of people that aren't ready for TV. There's a lot of people that can't work like a Finn Balor or a Sasha Banks or a Bayley or a Chad Gable or a Karrion Kross. There's a lot of people that are there that, quite frankly, I'd be shocked if they were even able to compete for TV time back when those takeovers were going crazy. So if they continue with the way they're doing it now, but change the feel of it, but then they give us that wild ass indie work rate show every 3-4 months, will people be happy with it? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But I do think that this is a move in the right direction, because we all know this was a third brand when Vince wanted to move it directly opposed AEW. We all knew that was a bad idea. They went ahead and did it anyway. It is what it is. But I think that they got some bright spots down there, and if they tell some compelling stories, change the feel of it, maybe some of the people down there step up their work rate and they start going crazy. I got high hopes. I am optimistic about 2.0. So that is the latest. 2.0 is dead. So let's hit the button one time for 2.0. Great. Now we can move on to bigger and better things. Also, side note, a lot of some of the people that tried to break up the fight from AEW have returned, such as Pat Buck, such as Brandon Cutler. A couple of those guys are back. There will be no BTE until further notice. That was in my video yesterday. So go check that out on What the Wrestling on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Now, NXT 2.0. How did we start, I say? Well, we started with Pretty Deadly and the Creed Brothers in a fantastic cage match. This match was good. Damon Kemp climbed the cage. Everybody started booing him. And he actually tied one of the Creed brothers to the top of the cage, while the other Creed brother had to fend for himself for the rest of the match. Pretty good spots. Crazy spot where one of the Creed brothers had two guys on his shoulders, on each shoulder. Yeah, one Pretty Deadly here, one Pretty Deadly here. And I think it was Brutus jumped off the top and just shoulder tackled the both of them. That was crazy. That was a crazy looking spot. Don't think I've ever seen that before. But after he was tied up, that was pretty much all she wrote. He did try to mount and come back, but they hit him with the double team powerbomb blockbuster finisher, and that was all she wrote. after they continued to throw him against the cage about 8-9 times, and he was out on his feet. This was a good match. Pretty Deadly, really liked them. Believe it or not, I like Pretty Deadly. I think Pretty Deadly coming over from UK, I think they're really good. I think they work well together, and these guys are good in the ring. So like I said, takeover worthy. I can see these guys having some great takeover matches. We have some backstage stuff with Wesley, Joey Gacy, and Von Wagner. Everybody's supposed to take a vote on who is supposed to be the North American Championship contender for Carmelo Hayes tonight. They voted in Wesley, but unfortunately Wesley got his ass kicked by Melo Hayes and Mr. Trick. So surprise, motherfucker. We had a surprise entrant at the end of the show, and his name was Solo Sikoa. But that comes later. So we had Last Legend and Fallon Henley. Fallon Henley got the win. There was a Connor's Cure. Fallon Henley came out with Josh Briggs, Brooks Jensen, and a youngster named the Night Howler Ramirez. He was representing Connor's Cure and the WWE campaign for Patriotic Cancer Awareness Month. That was pretty cool to see him come out. He got hype. He had like a little NXT. He had actually the kids' NXT belt, if I'm not mistaken. And that was pretty cool. These two had a pretty decent fight, but Last Legend with the loss. Fallon Henley counters with a big bulldog for a pop. Henley beats Lash with the big knockout blow for the win. You're not going to have a Connor's Cure person come out and then have the heel win. So this was good. After the match, Henley, Briggs, and Jensen joined the Night Howler on the ramp to celebrate. This was a good sight. We had Sanga backstage with Valentina Perez and Yulisa Leon. Leon said she's going to be out for 9 months with a bum knee, probably an ACL. And Mr. Stone walks up with Von Wagner and said, "This is depressing." Stone says Vaughn should have won the fan vote from earlier. Sanga tells them to watch their language because you don't curse around the ladies, man. Get the fuck out of here! Anyway, Von Wagner and Sanga have words. Then they face off. Stone backs off Von Wagner and tells him to save it. So we'll be getting that feud soon. Then we had Toxic Attraction with Mandy Rose. Well, Toxic Attraction. And Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. Rose talked about how it's been 300 days and ain't nobody could beat her. Y'all better start putting some respect on her name. He basically said, but out comes Abba Fire. She's carrying the baseball bat dripped in all red. And she said, listen, she may have unified the titles, but she knows nothing about where Abba Fire comes from. She had a very stupid line about being a long line of firewalkers. That was dumb. Stupid. Please don't say that ever again. But she proceeded to flatten Toxic Attraction, was going up top for the big dive, the big moonsault. No, she does a senton. For the big senton, but Toxic Attraction got the hell out of Dodge. So that was okay. We got a Cora Jade promo saying for the last 12 months she was trying to find herself, and she got mad that everybody came in and loved Roxanne Perez. She got tight, so she beat her up, and now she's going to shine brighter than the #1 woman in the entire industry. We got it. Put some respect on her name, too. Mackenzie was back there with Wendy Chu, and Cora Jade is jealous of Roxanne Perez. And we got a Wendy Chu and Last Legend face off. So that will probably be the next feud there. And we'll see what happens with that. Then we got Quincy. We got the Super Diva, Quincy Elliott, who came in earlier in the night on his scooter versus Sean Gallagher. The Super Diva has a unique look. with a unique style and is very unique in the ring. Wade Barrett does not like it. Sean Gallagher is in the ring, and basically this was a squash. The Super Diva won with a, if I'm not mistaken, like a Yokozuna bomb. I don't know what you call that, but everybody was chanting Super Diva at the end of this. So Quincy Elliott wins. Great. We had Joey Gacy and Cameron Grimes. Oh shit, I messed that up. Stupid. My bad, y'all. My bad. So we had Cameron Grimes backstage, supposed to go one-on-one with Tony D. You heard me? And Mr. Stacks Lorenzo. But he needs a tag team partner. He said, I don't need no stinking partner. So he went out there. And he proceeded to get his ass handed to him until Joey Gacy came and helped him out. And basically, this turned out to be one hell of a match because Joey Gacy got a hot tag. Crowd was going crazy for him. Excuse me. He ends up fighting everybody off. Huge pop for Joey Gacy. Freaking guy turned babyface overnight. Cameron Grimes comes in, turns him around and said, what the hell are you doing here? What are you doing here? He said, I don't need you. What? Tony pulls Grimes to the floor. Stacks applies the sleeper on Gacy, but it's broken. Grimes rushes to hit the big crossbody on Stacks. Tony drops Grimes, but Gacy fights Stacks off and hits the big handspring lariat for the pin and the win. Afterwards, first of all, they got the win. Afterwards, Joey Gacy says, embrace and rejoice. Like I said on Instagram, after the Jets got their ass kicked by the Ravens. Oh, wait, sorry. This is wrestling, not football. My bad. Sorry.
You stupid.
Sorry, my bad. Sorry about that. But anyway, he wants them to embrace him, and Cameron Grimes ain't having none of that. He basically said, get the fuck out of here. So they beat the holy hell out of him. The fans boo him, and the schism poses over Cameron Grimes' dead carcass in the middle of the ring. Fans was not feeling that at all. Then we had a tape promo by JD McDonough, who is getting a shave by a straight ledge razor. He ends up getting cut. He says Braun Breaker's still on his mind. He gets cut with the razor, and then he proceeds to lick the blood off his fingers. Great. So, we had another pre-recorded interview. Nick Joseph interviewing Braun Breaker. That was great. Then we had Mackenzie backstage with Tyler Bate. Says Unified Champion Braun Breaker had an incredible first year, but respectfully, he wants a rematch. And Bates says McDonough stands between him and his divine purpose. McDonough versus Mr. Tyler Bate. That's A1 stuff right there. JD McDonough.
Stop it. Get some help.
We had Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark versus Adriana Grace and Kiana James. This was a fun match. Zoe Stark is great. I have no idea why she is not the new NXT Women's Champion.
Stupid.
Because she should be. Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark get the win. After the match, Lyons and Stark stand tall together in the middle of the ring. And then we have Invo and Blade are back in the parking lot talking about how Gacy will not win Superstar of the Year. The Dyad rip a flyer out of Jagger Reed. The Dyad rip flower and Jagger Reed approach, saying Cameron Grimes brought this on himself. And if you can't see that, we'll show you. They then attack and Bo and Blade. A big brawl breaks out. Security breaks it up. And security guard Hank Walker is keeping them apart, but someone else reminds him that he has a match coming up and they can handle it. Wesley got beat the hell up, so we talked about that already. And then we had Javier Bernal versus Hank Walker, and the crowd went crazy for Mr. Hank. My man ends up taking off his shirt. He scooped up Bernal for the slam, but Bernal countered it into a sleeper in the middle of the ring. Hank then hit a Dez press and punches and mounts Bernal. The crowd's going crazy for this guy. Hank takes off his shirt and everybody's like screaming. Everybody's like, and then he hit Hank with a flying splash in the corner and then a tackle, a shoulder tackle for the win. Shout out to Hank. They may have a new superstar on their hands. Good stuff here. Let us fast forward after a bunch more video package. We had a JD McDonough, Tyler Bate, #1 contenders match for next week. Whoever wins that match probably is going to be beating Mr. Braun Breaker for the NXT title. Can't, because either one of them is going to get a rematch. So probably going to be Tyler Bate. That's what I would do anyway. And we have a NXT North American title match. Carmelo Hayes versus Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa came out and confronted the A champion because he said there was no one left to beat. Solo came in, huge pops. Oos, oos, oos. You got next. You got next. And then he says, I told you, I got next. Smack Mr. Carmelo. Ends up beating him up. And Mr. Trick. The end came when Mr. Trick tried to hit a super kick. And he got kicked in the face. Carmelo Hayes ended up getting hit with a huge Uranagi. I mean, Big E would be proud, and Samoa Joe would be proud of this Uranagi. That's all the Sikoa hit. And then he went up top with the big splash. It's over. Uno, dos, tres. Sayonara. We have a new North American champion. This was great. Then they went off the air with Solo Sikoa holding up the belt. NXT 2.0 logo. We dropped the 2.0. The NXT turns to gold. That is how you have an NXT show. This show was good last night. Had some stuff I didn't like, but all in all, it was good. Man, I cannot wait to see what they do for Halloween Havoc. It's going to be great. NXT back to the black and gold, or just back to the gold. I'll take it. Let's see where it goes. As for me, RJD, catch me on RJDTV. I will be playing some Naruto until Dynamite tonight. With that being said, I am out. Everybody be safe. Check out my socials. Hit that like button. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm gone. Peace.
Dom DeMarco.